Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Friday, September 13th. We will generally see no significant fire potential impacts across the Great Basin over the next couple of days. We may have some breezy winds today into tomorrow over parts of Idaho into Wyoming as fronts pass by to the north. However, otherwise, those areas have seen much higher humidity and cooler temperatures. The main story will be the impact from a strong cold front moving into the Great Basin on Sunday and pushing across the Great Basin through early next week. Winds will increase significantly on Sunday over western areas and be strongest on Monday over much of Nevada into the Arizona Strip and parts of western Utah. These wind gusts will exceed 35 miles per hour on Sunday with very low relative humidity and likely exceed 45 or 50 miles per hour on Monday. This cold front, however, will bring some precipitation and cooler temperatures. No lightning or precipitation has occurred across the Great Basin over the last 24 hours, and we've only seen light initial attack with a few small fires across the region. Over the last 2 weeks, we've seen precipitation mainly target the northern half of the Great Basin, and these areas have been well above normal in some spots across parts of Idaho into Wyoming for the time of year for the 2-week period. However, very dry conditions continue over southern and western areas of the Great Basin, with many of these areas not seeing any precipitation in the last several weeks. Fuel conditions have moderated somewhat with the cold fronts that have moved through the Great Basin, bringing some moisture and some cooler temperatures to most of the region. The only area of concern still at this point are southern areas of the Great Basin that have not seen quite as significant of an increase in humidity or in wetting rains, and also over western areas of Nevada that will likely dry out here over the next couple of days, and the fine fuels will be the main issue going into Sunday, Monday with the cold front. Looking at our ERC charts, you can see over western Nevada the ERCs have come down but will be heading upwards over the next couple of days and at least approach normal. And again, it's mainly the fine fuels that we're worried about over western areas of the Great Basin, and also live fuel moistures are at their lowest of the season at this point. Over southern areas of the Great Basin, ERCs that are still at record levels in areas that have not seen the rainfall over parts of the Arizona Strip into far southern Utah. 10-hour fuel moisture is also very low over the southern half to 2/3 of the Great Basin. Looking at our satellite image, you can see generally quiet conditions, clear skies, westerly flow. You can see a trough of low pressure moving into the Pacific Northwest. Again, this will generally brush northern Idaho into Montana. Therefore, some breezy winds in the far north today at times, really around 25 or 30 miles per hour, but humidity will be elevated. Looking at our weather pattern for later today, again, you can see generally dry conditions across the basin, the exception of parts of Idaho with some breezy winds, but any precipitation will remain to the north of the Great Basin. So generally low fire potential, still moderate potential in the south, again in areas that have not seen much relief from wetting rains. Relative humidity will remain low across Nevada and Utah in the single digits to low teens, and much higher across Idaho and Wyoming. Again, the wind picture is here on the right. You can see those breezy winds mainly over central Idaho with gusts right around 25 miles per hour. However, light winds over the rest of the basin. As we move into Saturday, very similar conditions, dry conditions with light winds in the south and some breezy winds across Idaho with generally low fire potential in the north and moderate in the south. Similar picture for relative humidity, lowest conditions in the single digits to low teens across the Arizona Strip, Utah, and Nevada. And then those breezy winds again across Idaho, and will start picking up along the Sierra front, but again, gusts mainly 20 to 25 miles per hour. Sunday, however, is the big story with this cold front dipping down off the west coast. It will allow winds to more significantly increase. So we do have high risk for winds over western Nevada and the Sierra, and it also matches up with high risk for winds in northern California. We also may start to see some moisture work its way back into parts of the Arizona Strip and Utah for possibly a return of some showers and thunderstorms. So we will be watching this as well to see if any of this will bring some wetting rains or if it will be on the drier side. But that is in areas where fuels are still critical. On Sunday, you can see again, generally single digits to low teens across the region and drying out up across Idaho. And you can see the wind picture on the right. The gustiest winds, again, along the Sierra front would be the main concern into western Nevada. And also we will have some breezy winds over eastern Nevada with lower relative humidity, but those wind gusts will be a little bit lower. Looking at central Idaho, we might have a little bit stronger winds at times in the highest elevations. Overall forecast amounts of precipitation are indicated here, and again you can see that return of moisture mainly on Sunday over parts of Utah and the Arizona Strip, so we will be monitoring that. Other areas will remain dry. As we go into early next week, that cold front moves into the western side of the Great Basin, so winds will significantly increase across all areas of the Great Basin, especially Nevada, Utah, and the Arizona Strip, where fuels are critical and relative humidity will remain the lowest. These winds will be the strongest on Monday into Tuesday, with again gusts above 45 or 50 miles per hour, so a fairly large area of high risk for these gusty winds and low relative humidity. We will also continue to see some moisture over eastern Utah, so we could see some thunderstorm activity again on Monday, with more showers and cooler temperatures moving into Idaho. On Tuesday, that cold front pushes now further east, so winds will be fairly strong across much of Utah, especially the eastern half of Utah, overnight Monday into the first half of Tuesday, but by Tuesday evening they will start to calm down with some higher humidity. So we will continue to watch parts of Utah for high risk on Tuesday, but again we will see some higher humidities. Looking at Wednesday, we still have some breezy southwest winds, but winds will definitely be lighter than what we'll see Sunday through Tuesday. And then on Thursday, we have another cold front dropping down off the west coast. This may bring some more gusty winds and also some moisture to the Great Basin for possibly some showers and thunderstorms. Forecast amounts of precipitation for the next 7 days are indicated here, and you can see mainly with that precipitation on Monday or Sunday and Monday over Utah, and then also later in the period with that next cold front, we will see some additional precipitation across the Great Basin. The 8 to 14 day outlook shows we have warm temperatures, and this is taking us into the third week in September, and possibly a return of below normal precipitation. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.